U.S. investment bank invited into China. Our local knowledge and global expertise has built a bridge between China and the world. We give Chinese businesses unsurpassed access to investment capital and provide our investors with unique opportunities in one of the world's greatest growth markets. Discover what makes Merrill Lynch an essential partner in developing a world of opportunity.
Global warming, deforestation, dangerous air, drought, dirty water. Fixing the problems can also create opportunities for investors. From alternative fuels to carbon trading to natural resource management. We'll bring you the latest trends as we focus on a greener Asia every Thursday on Bloomberg Live.
FXCM brings you the World Currency Update.
The World Currency Report is brought to you by FXCM. Experience superior currency trading with FXCM.
Bloomberg Live, half past the hour. Asian stocks could be on the skids today after Wall Street posted a fourth straight day of losses. U.S. dollar rallying for a change of pace. Change attack hitting a crescendo against the U.S. dollar. Haven't seen these kinds in more than a year. We'll tell you why. Commodities are tumbling. Metals and oil. Uh-oh. Wonder what Jim Rogers is doing with all that stuff. And Macquarie in Australia posting record profits. Lots of M&A, lots of fee income. Earnings in the first half. Interims up 45%. Matter of fact, let's check how the Australian market is doing today against that kind of the backdrop there. Australia is up a little bit. Wellington is flat as we speak, despite the sell down on Wall Street. The biggest publicly traded oil company in Indonesia is counting on investment in Libya to boost production. Medco Energi discovered oil in all 5 wells that they drilled. Let's cross over to Jakarta, where Haslinda is holding court this week as we focus on Indonesia. I didn't know that Muammar Colonel Gaddafi had so much oil in them thar hills in those Libyan wells. Haslinda?
Tons of potential there, Bernie. Reserve estimates range from 300,000 to 1 billion barrels of oil. That would make Libya, well, the Libyan wells, the so-called Area 47, the largest for Medco. Now, by the way, Libya holds Africa's largest proven oil reserves. Now, Indonesian oil companies like Medco are venturing overseas as local reserves are getting depleted. And according to Medco's Chief Executive Officer, Hilmi Panigoro, Libya holds the company's future growth.
It's very difficult to be quantitative at this point in time because what we do, when you drill a well, we just assign an acreage assignment to that well. And based on that, you're probably going to get not more than, I don't know, 10, 15 million barrels a well. Okay? But if you look at the seismic, where you can see the, I would say, the aerial extent of the reservoir in that particular field, then you could do a prediction. But prediction of reserve from seismic cannot be categorized as proven reserves. So that's why the range at the moment will be very big, from a few hundred million, maybe to more than 1 billion, because we have at least identified 17 prospects with similar quality at the moment. So if we can prove all of them, maybe the reserve will be beyond 1 billion barrels. But if it is only 5 or 6, maybe around 300 million barrels.
But what's your own sense? Is it closer to 300,000 or closer to 1 billion barrels?
I am optimistic it's going to be closer to 1 billion.
The Libyan field will be Medco's biggest in its portfolio. To what extent do you think that will help compensate for your mature or your older fields?
Well, I think we are doing two things right now to compensate for our aging fields. Number one, we have an aggressive plan to monetize our gas reserves. Number two, we are aggressively looking for new oil reserves. And I think in the next 5 years, if we can deliver all of the projects that is already on our plate right now, like the Singa field, which will be on stream end of next year, and then Libya, which we expect to be on stream end of 2009, and then Block A in North Sumatra, which we expected to be on stream maybe early 10 or late 09, and then the Sonoro field, our LNG project, which is expected to be on stream also at the end of 2010. All of this will basically more than double our current production. So I'm not worried about the aging field, although it's not going to be smooth, but you will see a step increase in our production in the next 5 years.
Is there a concern perhaps that the political uncertainty in Libya would disrupt your business plans in the country?
Well, I mean, political risk is always there, wherever we are. But if you compare the way governments conduct bidding process today, I think Libya is one of the most transparent. I've never seen any better method of bidding around in Libya today. They announce the bidding process in front of the participants within 5 minutes after they open the sealed bid. And I think you cannot be more transparent than that.
Medco is in a very good position right now, given where oil prices are. It's still hovering close to record highs. How are you taking advantage of that situation? How are you positioning yourself in terms of investments?
Well, I think in the midterm, of course, exploration and production of oil and gas will be our main focus, and we'll take advantage of these high oil prices. But at the same time, given a very high oil price like this, I think we are also thinking about our consumers. And that's why, if you look at our long-term strategy, we also start looking at renewables. We will have our first ethanol plant on stream first quarter 08. And I'm expecting in the next 5 years, we'll be very aggressive in developing our renewable energy potential in Indonesia.
Given where oil prices are right now, they're hovering at $90 a barrel, reaching a high of above 93. Do you think $100 oil is in sight?
I think it's very close.
How close? Are we looking at $100 oil by the end of this year?
Well, I don't know, because I think to carry it from 90 to 100, not only supply and demand, but also the geopolitical situation around the world, which, I mean, nobody can predict.
But is there enough supply? Because some have said that as long as OPEC does not ramp up production, there's insufficient supply in the market. What's your own sense?
I fully agree with that, simply because I'm looking at it from the industry ability to replace the world production. I think if you look at the latest statistics issued by Chevron, I think the latest statistics showed that the industry can only find half of what the industry is, of what the world is consuming today. So that means the reserve to production ratio continue to decrease. And I think in the long run, that will only create the pressure for higher oil price.
Some investors expect the Libyan wells to help boost Medco shares. They're up 68% this year, underperforming their counterparts in the Asia-Pacific region because of concerns about slowing sales. Bernie.
Slenda, one of the problems with a lot of petroleum-related companies is that they face the prospect of aging fields with dwindling output. And Medco is trying to actually hike the output of domestic oil and gas from 75,000 BOE to like 100,000 barrels equivalent. How are they hoping to do that with the aging of their resources?
Well, they're pumping in money. They're targeting $1.4 billion in investments through 2010, and the company's already targeting Aceh and Sulawesi, and they think that these two areas will help them boost production by a third to, like you mentioned, 100,000 barrels. Now, Bernie, the latest developments will also attract investors to the company's planned IPO overseas that's scheduled for next year in London. So pretty bright picture for Medco going forward.
Okay. Looks like it's going to be a long time before we wean ourselves off fossilized dinosaurs in the ground. Haslenda, we'll see you later. Haslenda, our queen in Indonesia during our Focus on the Republic week. When we come back, we'll talk to the CEO of Noble Group, Hong Kong-based but Singapore-listed Richard Ellman. The stock hitting a crescendo on the SGX yesterday following earnings.
Bringing together some of the most influential leaders and thinkers in business today, the Asia Business Leaders Forum 2007 is happening 15th to 17th November at Shangri-La's Rasa Sentosa Resort, Singapore. Drive your company's profitability through discussions on leadership, social responsibility, technology, maximizing brand value, and more. Register now at ablforum.com. The Asia Business Leaders Forum is proudly brought to you by the following sponsors.
This week on Bloomberg Television, Asia's economic crisis devastated Indonesia a decade ago. 10 years later, the stock market has set a record. Economic growth is accelerating and dictatorship's been replaced by democracy. From mining to infrastructure to Islamic financing, Indonesia is creating new opportunities for investors and businesses. Even so, foreign investment lags, the budget deficit's growing, and environmental concerns linger. We focus on Indonesia every day this week on Bloomberg Television.
RCM, a company of Allianz Global Investors, is a recognized market leader in global funds management, dedicated to providing investment solutions built on our information advantage. RCM Investment Solutions, with consistency, stability, and superior performance. RCM.
bbfx.com. Trade with the advantages of professional research with the world's #1 FX bank.
Have you spotted Denise yet? We'll help by telling you what she's not. 3 of them fighting over a young pretty boy? Not for Denise. Nor is this. She's more fashion savvy than this. Flowers from Art? Denise likes quirky flowers, so that can't be her. And she hates long-faced cats. Would a tree hugger be chopping down trees? We know she's one feisty rocker chick, but doesn't the sound of breaking glass freak her out? Can you spot Denise now? Log on to mtvasia.com/VJ to find out more.